Hi everyone, 3 men and a whiskey, and I am behind on my advent calendar. What can I say? I was out socialising throughout the weekend, which is what we do, what we're supposed to do over Christmas. So I make no apologies for this, but it does mean that I am behind with my advent calendar. I'm also behind with my chocolate advent calendar as well. I'm recording this on December the 16th. This video is for December the 13th, and this advent calendar is currently up to December the 12th. So I've got a bit of work to do. Other brands are available in case you're interested, but yeah, this is not uncommon for me. I'm often behind with my advent calendars, so I guess I have form. So what am I going to do? Well, I mean, it presents a challenge, of course it does, but I don't really believe in challenges. I believe in opportunities, as they say. And so I'm going to take the opportunity to try and catch up. And to do that, it means I get to try several whiskies while watching several movies and, of course, eating several chocolates, all in the same day, which I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. And I think is totally within the realms of possibility. I mean, it is Christmas, after all, the time of miracles. So, I think I can catch up, and we'll see. So what am I going to watch? Well, I thought the next two movies, what I'd do is I'd watch a couple of movies that are linked, in that they are both similar styles, similar types of movies. They're both from the 1980s. They're both Christmas comedies. But unlike most Christmas comedies, which are very clearly targeted at children, these two Christmas comedies are really more aimed at grown-ups, which is cool because, again, Christmas is for everyone. So that's a good thing. The first one I'm going to watch stars an actor who, when he made his first big blockbuster film in 1984, was so exhausted from doing it and quite disillusioned with the whole thing that he took a 4-year break, hardly doing any acting at all in that time, until he returned in 1988 to make this film. Because he is a great comedian, a great Hollywood comedian, and if you're a great Hollywood comedian, then it is actually the law that you, at some point in your career, make a Christmas movie. They've all done it. In some cases, they've done it too many times, but it's just par for the course. And so Bill Murray, one of the stars of Ghostbusters, who was disillusioned and went off on a whole soul-searching journey for a few years, returned triumphantly to make Scrooged in 1988. A movie that, surprise, is loosely based on that Charles Dickens novella, and is different in that it, like I said, is a little bit more aimed at grown-ups, and of course brings with it that American 1980s style that only 1980s Hollywood could do, which means high doses of capitalism, sleazy media executives, and and a lot of Bill Murray. So that's what I'm going to watch. Looking forward to that. And to pair with it, I have picked a whiskey called King's Inch. King's Inch. This is the director's cut. Small batch bourbon. It's been matured in multiple bourbon barrels and married together. King's Inch are relatively new. They've only been around for a small number of years. They've only been releasing whiskey for, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years. They've obviously been around for a bit longer before then, while they were maturing spirit and what have you. They're Glasgow-based. They do have a good bit of whiskey heritage behind them. They were the brainchild of multiple people, but one of the people was Dr. Jim Swan, who passed away a few years ago before this came to fruition. But he was behind this, and he was behind a lot of other new distilleries that have popped up over the world. He was an advisor to the likes of Kilcommon, and numerous others around the world, and so a real legend of the industry, and it's great to to finally get our hands on this as well. There isn't really a link between this and Scrooge. I could not think of one, except for the fact that Bill Murray's character is, of course, a cheap ass, and this whiskey is very cheap, and that's not a bad thing. Don't take it negatively. Whiskey as a hobby is really expensive, and I would say too expensive these days. And so when you can find a whiskey that is reasonably priced, that is still good quality, you've got to snap it up. I know that I think on the website these are 40, 45 quid. You can probably in the sales and things pick up bottles of this in other places for less than 40, which is in whiskey single malt terms pretty decent. So this is what I'm going to have. I've got it in my smokered glass, which is I thought it was time to break out a different glass this time. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I have an opportunity before me to watch lots of movies and drink lots of whiskies, and we're going to see how we get on. All right, so I am all done with Scrooged. That was good fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah, that was proper Christmas film. Well done. Bill Murray, high of his powers. Very, very comical. The comedy held up as well for the most part. Probably a few jokes that are a bit risque, but I had my doubts that this would hold up as well as it has. So fair play. It probably comes down in the rankings a little bit because the ending didn't quite do it for me. A Christmas Carol is a really hard one to get right because it's such a long journey that the character has to go on to get the big payoff at the end. The payoff needs to be funny, sentimental, poignant, and all that stuff, and also not overly long. And this one was just a little, I don't know, just a little something that I didn't quite like about it. But the rest of the film was great. Some actors in there that I'd forgotten were in it. Alfred Woodard, Robert Mitchum, Karen Allen. Some real classic actors from back in the day that I'd forgotten all about. So that was cool. And yeah, genuinely very enjoyable. Still a Christmas classic. I think I'll give it 8 Maids a Milking, which I think is a good solid score. Slightly down on what it might have been if the ending had just I don't know, just done something different for me. But yeah, there you go. King's Inch whiskey, very enjoyable for something at this age. It's not really a Christmassy dram. I would say it's quite smooth, quite light, quite a lot of kind of vanilla and honey smoothness in there, which is no bad thing. But I guess the lightness probably brings it down in the score and the kind of the immaturity a little bit. But it's still solid, really good, particularly for the price. So I'd probably give this 7. 7 out of 10 is a good score. And again, like I said, you can pick these up pretty cheap, which again is no bad thing. I've had a couple of my chocolates out of my calendar over there, so I'm catching up. I'm slowly but surely catching up. I'm going to move on to my next one in a little bit, and hopefully get a couple of videos out today, and then a couple tomorrow, and we'll be back on track. So thank you very much as always. Do like, subscribe, and all that stuff, and I will catch you on the next one. Cheers.